Alright, let's talk about run one. So I'm editing the video right now. I'm not in the garage doing this just because I'm tired, it's hot outside. I went to that LMR event, this late model resto event at Texas Motor Speedway. That was yesterday. And wow, I am tired. There's so many cars there. So you can check out Brutal and Foxcast Media. They cover that pretty good. Alright, run one. It's been a while since I've done Autocross, so it's just getting back into it. I forgot to set my tire pressure, but honestly, I just want to get out and get a little seat time and just shake the car down a little bit and see what we got. As you can see, multiple areas here. I have traction issues, not for handling, but just the power to the ground. And part of that is I didn't have my tire pressure set right, but also the clutches in my rear ends were out. Still need to do that. I could also use some better control arms. I'm still using the old stock ones, worn out bushings. So that would greatly help my traction issues right there. Alright, now we're about to get into run 2 here in a second, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, run 2, much better. Last time I was running out there, I was hitting 71s pretty even. So 69 is about 2 seconds faster. So they're really pleased with that, but there still needs to be some things I can do a little better. Alright, now the other thing is I went to my new cell phone and I didn't set up my track addict right, and I didn't think about it. So I have to set up the course, the beginning and the ending of the track so that it actually gives a time and has the pre-start little segment on there. So that's why you don't see me actually launching in there, because it didn't pick that up right off the bat there. So that's my fault for not setting that up. So I still have some problems with launching. I'm hitting the gas too hard, spinning the higher, because they don't have the clutches and the rear end, acceleration traction down on the rear end. So that's one of the things that slowed me down a little bit. And then we have this segment, I think I'll put the pip here. When I'm going through the first little, I forgot what you call it, not a Chicago box, lane change. Whenever I'm going through the first lane changes and I'm approaching it, I'm doing 45 miles an hour, and those cones come up pretty quick when you're actually running it. And I'm braking and slowing down too early on that, so I can wait a little bit longer on there and go through that a little bit quicker. And so that's something I need to think about later on. This is the last one of the season, so all I have is videos at this point. Alright, the next segment that I have is going through the slalom. I'm doing way better than what I was doing before, but I could still probably pick up some going through there and hit those just a little harder. I'm losing my speed. I'm coming into them about 45 miles an hour, which is about the top of my first gear. So I could hold that RPM a little bit better going through those, and that should pick up a little bit there. Let's see. The other thing is whenever I'm approaching the back end of the straightaway, I'm still having a little bit of issues with the way the car's running. As my power band comes up, I'm having a issue where it's falling off at about 5,300 RPMs. So if I go ahead and shift the AOD from first to D, because there's not a second detent, it shifted second and then immediately went into third gear. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, and then I'm still braking a little early, you know, doing 50 some odd miles an hour coming up on those cones. I got to learn to hold out just a little bit longer, you know, not like 2-3 seconds longer, but maybe a quarter second longer, a half second longer, then get on the brakes and then go through it a little bit faster. Now coming out of that, since I have now shifted into drive, the AOD was not downshifting back into first gear, so I lost my good acceleration. That's something I'm going to address on run 3. There's a couple areas I want to work on, which is the slalom and the first, is the backstretch. That's what it was, the slalom and the backstretch. I'm going to work on those a little bit more and see if I can pick up a little bit of time there, but I'm not looking for an overall better time. I'm thoroughly happy with 69 second, 2 second gain on the car. Alright, enough rambling. Let's go on and see how I do on run 3 in those areas I was talking about. I'm also going to hold it in first gear to the point to where my RPM or my power falls off, and then just kind of feather it through there. That way I have first gear as I come back through all that. Good. Okay, that was run 3. That one felt smooth, and like what Warhorse Racing says, smooth is fast. So I didn't get quite the time, as about a second slower, but that's because I was just really focused on 2 different areas and trying to be smooth overall. So I could have picked that up pretty easily. Now, one thing that I did do incorrectly on that is when I was going through the slalom, I kept my speed up better. I still dropped about 10 miles an hour. So I want to get a little better at that. But as I was coming out, so I had that last cone, right? When I was coming out of it, come too wide, and I backsided the cone that way, which is incorrect. I should have already been straight and coming around and backsiding it this way, so I'm in line for the next corner up there. So that's what I was saying in there. It's like I thought I was going to hit that cone, but I didn't. But honestly, I should be probably about that close to the cones, because that's going through and just cutting that real knife edge between being fast and hitting a cone, right? It's always that balance. Now, if you notice, I had engine cutout in there several times, and that's because the engine is just like I let off the throttle. So there's something definitely wrong with the engine at this point. When I was driving home, so here's another little hint here. It started doing the whole surge thing, not like surge increase, but it just kind of acted like it lost some power and then come back and gain the power about half second later, and it's doing that several times. So I do have it fixed. You can see that in my post-race video that I need to also edit, right? So if you think you know what's wrong with it, just put a comment in there, and we'll see, and Whenever we come around to the post-race video, I'll show you what, or post-race inspection video, I'll show you what was actually wrong. And I went out and test drove it, and that completely fixed it. So nothing major like, you know, piston coming out or anything like that. Alright, bonus content here. I actually raced, or not raced, but I rode with one of the guys out there in his Miata. And he's in, see, I'm in stock class, and he's in modified class. So I'm not comparing by any means here. But this guy's pretty good. He's got I think he's running like a 245 tire or something like that on his car. It's like super sticky compound. I'm running 300 treadwear regular street tires on mine. And he's a pretty good guy. He's been running out at Howlett and doing a good job out there too. So I rode with him just to see how he's driving and what he is doing on his lap. So we'll get to see that right here.
I got that one. I got the rest.
That's way more aggressive than